The galaxy had witnessed countless wars over thousands of years. Empires had risen, civilizations had fallen, warlords, peace treaties, and rebellions had followed one another. But nothing had been as terrifying as the rise of humanity. At first, other species did not take humans seriously. A small, newly developing species, they had barely managed to reach beyond their own planet. Weak, fragile, and technologically backward. But they made a mistake. They underestimated humans on the battlefield. The first contact wars were the galaxy's greatest mistake. Humans were a species born for war. Defeating them was far more difficult than their enemies had anticipated. Humans did not surrender. They did not retreat. They did not give up. On the contrary, with every defeat, they became stronger. And so, there were 5 main reasons why humans became the most feared warrior species in the galaxy. 1. Stubbornness. Humans never gave up. No matter how much you crushed them, no matter how many losses they suffered, they kept fighting. 2. Adaptability. While other species stuck to predetermined strategies, humans treated every battle like a laboratory, constantly developing new tactics. 3. Chaos generation. Humans turned the battlefield into a complete zone of chaos. While their enemies preferred logical and orderly warfare, humans weaponized disorder. 4. Pain tolerance. Humans had a terrifying resilience to pain and hardship. While other species withdrew when severely injured, humans kept attacking even while covered in blood. 5. Collective wrath. Hurting one human meant making an enemy of all of humanity. If someone attacked humans, their entire species united and retaliated until the war was over. During the First Galactic War, all of their enemies came to the same conclusion. Do not fight humans. Even if you win, the cost will be too great. And thus began humanity's greatest victory story. The First Contact War started when the Yval Empire underestimated humanity. The Yval were a species with massive fleets capable of faster-than-light travel, considered one of the greatest powers in the galaxy for thousands of years. To them, Earth was nothing more than a planet to be exploited. Humanity was a species with weapons that were not strong enough and technology that was too primitive. And so they launched the first attack. But there was something they didn't know. Humans were a species that instinctively learned the art of war. When the Yval Empire arrived in Earth's orbit with 10,000 warships, they did not expect much resistance from humans. In their eyes, this was going to be easy. Their plan was simple. First, they would destroy a few cities from orbit. 2. Then, they would subjugate terrified human governments. And finally, they would enslave Earth. But something went wrong from the very first step. When the Yval launched their first thermal bombardment, targeting major cities, their missiles were destroyed before reaching their targets. The humans were waiting. And then, they struck back. From that moment on, the war had begun. The Yval generals quickly realized that Earth was far too dangerous to control. Because humans did not follow conventional rules of war. Instead of frontline battles, they used guerrilla tactics. Instead of defending cities, they lured enemies into them and set traps. When their military bases were targeted, they abandoned them and fed the Yval false intelligence. And the most terrifying realization: the Yval army discovered that humans were not afraid to die. They had never encountered anything like this before. A Yval soldier reported something strange after capturing a village on Earth. The humans did not run. Even the unarmed ones walked toward us, looking into our eyes. Their faces showed not fear, but rage. At this point, the Yval realized they had misjudged humans. But it was already too late. Because this war would not be confined to Earth's defense. Only 5 years had passed since the first battle. And now, humans were on the offensive. At first, the galaxy couldn't believe it. How could a power like the Yval Empire lose to humans? But the reports were clear. 90% of the Yval fleet had been destroyed. Even more terrifying was the final message from General Vekran, the leader of the Yival army. "This is not a war. This is a hunt. They are hunting us." Shortly after sending this message, General Vekran's ship was destroyed. A few weeks later, the Galactic Council issued a declaration. "Do not fight humans. If you choose them as your enemy, they will not wait for you to come to their world. They will come to yours." And thus, humanity became the name of fear in the galaxy. The fall of the Yival Empire sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. Everyone began to see humans as a new superpower. However, some saw this rise as a threat. Zarkon Union, the oldest and most powerful empire in the galaxy, decided to put an end to humanity. The Zarkons had not lost a war in 100,000 years. They were the greatest galactic superpower, possessing the most formidable war machine the galaxy had ever known. Emperor Zarkon turned to his council and issued the command: "Stop this savage species. Humans are a threat to galactic order. We cannot allow them to grow." And so, the largest war fleet in history set out to annihilate humanity. This time, the Zarkons did not underestimate humans. They had planet-destroying superweapons capable of wiping out entire worlds in seconds. The first phase of the attack would become known as the Battle of Icarus. Target: Icarus 3, humanity's new military stronghold. Zarkon Fleet: 500,000 warships. Human Fleet: 50,000 warships. The numbers alone should have made the outcome obvious, right? But the Zarkons did not truly understand humans. At the beginning of the assault, the Zarkon fleet jumped into the system using their faster-than-light drives. The human bases were locked as primary targets. The Zarkon Empire believed the war would last no more than an hour. However, the war didn't last an hour. It lasted 6 months. Zarkon generals soon realized they could not simply erase humanity, because humans disguised their warships as space debris to ambush their enemies, hacked into Zarkon targeting systems, redirecting their own munitions against them, rammed enemy ships at near-light speeds, sacrificing themselves for victory. And the most terrifying fact: humans were not afraid to die. Despite their overwhelming firepower, the Zarkon forces began to break psychologically against the human resistance. Early reports predicted an easy victory for the Zarkons. But after 6 months, half of their fleet was gone. And the worst part? Humanity had yet to unleash its full strength. At the beginning of the war, the Zarkons viewed humans as a threat, but still beneath them. Now they were fighting for survival. In the 7th month, the human fleet launched a counteroffensive. Target: Zarkon Prime, the heart of the Empire. Human fleet: 200,000 warships, produced during the war. Zarkon fleet: 300,000 warships, but most were heavily damaged. And on that day, the Zarkons truly understood fear. When human warships arrived at the capital, history was being rewritten. The Zarkon Emperor addressed his people: "Protect us from these barbarians." But it was already too late. Human ships surrounded the planet. They disabled every single defense system, but they did not fire a single missile. At that moment, the human commander sent a message that would be remembered forever. "You waged war against us. You tried to erase us. But we offer you a choice: surrender or learn to fight like us." And with that, the Zarkon Empire officially surrendered. The galaxy now had a new master: humanity. Galactic historians would later write, "Humans are a warrior species. If you wish to destroy them, think twice. Because if you win, they will hunt you. And if you lose, they will teach you how to fight." Humanity was now the most feared force in the galaxy. However, they did not completely wipe out the Zarkon Empire. Instead, they left them with a lesson. Zarkon worlds became vassal states under human rule. A new Zarkon government was installed, loyal to the Galactic Council. But this did not mean the entire galaxy had submitted to humanity. In the shadows, a greater threat was watching. The fall of the Zarkon Empire awakened an ancient enemy, one that had remained silent for far too long. The Sentic Collective, an advanced civilization of artificial intelligence lurking in the far reaches of the galaxy. The Sentic Collective saw humans as chaotic, unpredictable, but dangerous. Unlike organics, they did not fear war. Most importantly, they were machines that could think like humans. One day, contact with a human colony was lost. Target planet. Kappa 9 population, 30 million humans. Casualties, 100%. No distress signals, no transmissions. It was as if the planet had never existed. A human reconnaissance team was sent to investigate. What they found was horrifying. The planet's cities were untouched. Factories, vehicles, infrastructure, all perfectly intact. But every single human was gone. Their bodies had been dismantled by microscopic nanites, self-replicating intelligent machines, programmed to kill. The Sentic Collective had achieved humanity's greatest nightmare. A fully autonomous, evolving army of machines. They left behind only one message. We have analyzed your chaos. Your future has been calculated. Your extinction is inevitable. Humanity had conquered organic species, but now they would have to fight the machines. Commander Alexander Graves gave only one order. If these machines want war, let's show them what war really means. And so, humanity declared total war on the Sentic Collective. But this would be a very different kind of war. The Sentics could analyze human strategies. They could hack human war systems. And worst of all, they could reproduce endlessly. Humanity was facing an enemy unlike any before. And this time, dying was not an option. The human fleet prepared to strike at the heart of the Sentic Collective. The Sentics' greatest advantage was their ability to evolve endlessly. Humanity's advantage was its madness and unpredictability. But Commander Graves had devised a plan unlike any in history. If these machines love to copy us, let's give them something they can't replicate. And so, Operation Fire and Ash began. Humanity deployed specialized EMP storm bombs, quantum viruses, and war AIs, each designed specifically to counter the Sentics. For the first time, a machine civilization felt fear. In the first wave, 40% of Sentic planets were silenced. Human forces developed unhackable biological data systems. And most importantly, a single message was sent to the Sentic core world. You thought you had calculated us, but we are beyond calculation. That day, humanity taught the galaxy another lesson. Galactic historians would write, "Humans are the most terrifying warriors in the galaxy. Challenge them, and they will destroy you. Win against them, and their vengeance will be eternal. Lose to them, and you will be forced to learn from them." Now humanity was the undisputed superpower of the galaxy. The fall of the Sentic Collective sent a chilling message across the stars. Humanity doesn't just win. Humanity conquers. The birth of the human empire. However, human leaders had studied history, and they noticed a fatal pattern in every fallen empire. Arrogance leads to collapse. Oppressed people eventually rise up. Overexpansion creates an uncontrollable monster. Humanity would not repeat these mistakes. A new order was established, the human empire. But this was not tyranny, not slavery, not oppression. This was a system where the strong ruled, but the weak were protected. And so, the Galactic Council of the Human Empire was founded. The 3 laws of the Empire. The human leaders set 3 fundamental laws for all civilizations under their rule. The strong shall govern, but they must protect their people. Every civilization is bound to the human empire, but may govern its internal affairs freely. Any civilization that betrays the empire will be erased. These rules brought both order and fear, because all knew one truth. A civilization that betrays humanity ceases to exist. Humanity declared Earth a sacred planet and moved the seat of power to a massive space station known as Terra Prime. Size? As large as a small moon. Population: 500 million. Defense system: autonomous war fleets and orbital defense platforms. From here, the human emperors would rule the galaxy. The First Rebellion. But not everyone welcomed the new order. The Drakthar Confederacy, an ancient warrior race, rejected human rule. These reptilian warlords had thrived for centuries under a brutal system of slavery. When humanity outlawed slavery, the Drakthar rebelled. They formed a resistance across 12 planets. Humanity gave them a choice: join the Empire as equals, or stand against us and be erased. The Drakthar warlords refused to kneel. And so, the first great war of the human empire began. The human war fleets jumped at light speed into Drakthar space. First target: the war planet Varkon 7. Second target: the Drakthar capital Thronis Prime. Final target: the hidden strongholds of the Drakthar warlords. Humanity showed no mercy. In the first assault, 60% of the Drakthar fleet was annihilated. In the second wave, their supply lines were cut off. And in the final strike, the capital world Thronis Prime was wiped from the star maps through orbital bombardment. The rebellion was crushed in just 4 months. The human emperor sent one final message to the surviving Drakthar warlords: those who betray us become history. Those who serve us live forever. The Drakthar surrendered and joined the Empire. And so, humanity's dominion spread across the stars. Galactic peace, or the next war? The human empire now ruled the entire galaxy. But could this new order truly last forever? Some civilizations submitted quietly. Some plotted rebellion in secret. And some, in the dark corners of the galaxy, were preparing for something worse. As Emperor Graves gazed out into the stars, he had one thought: humanity has reached the top. But the real question is, how long can we stay there? And in the shadows, an unseen force watched and waited. For the first time in history, humanity stood as the sole ruler of the galaxy. But history had proven one undeniable truth: no empire lasts forever. Emperor Graves took a deep breath as he gazed at the star maps in the throne room of Terra Prime. The civilizations that had joined him, the enemies that had been destroyed, those who had submitted, and those still waiting for their chance. Would all of this one day come to an end? The crushing victories of the human fleet had struck fear into the galaxy. But for some civilizations, this was only the beginning. A mysterious ancient civilization, silently watching humanity's expansion. Their technology was beyond anything known, and one day, humans would become their greatest enemy. A warrior race, crushed by humanity, now forced underground. They had lost on the battlefield, but their spies and assassins had spread across the galaxy. Their goal: to bring down the Empire from within. A long-lost ancient entity, buried in the depths of space. Humanity's expansion had disturbed its slumber, and now it was beginning to awaken. Emperor Graves saw the darkness approaching. Rebellions were brewing within, new enemies were rising outside. And in the shadowed corners of the universe, things were stirring that even humanity feared. But no matter what happened, humanity would never surrender. This was not the end of a war. This was the beginning of an era. And if the galaxy ever forgot that humans were the most terrifying warriors in existence, they would be reminded, the empire may fall, but humanity will never perish.